Hello, so my name is Lily and today is Independent Bookstore Day. I don't know if you'll be seeing this on Independent Bookstore Day, but it is Saturday, April 26th, and I'm gonna do some book shopping. This shelf right here is my TBR shelf. I feel like I've been showing it to you in like every video lately because I've been making videos relating to my physical TBR. And my rule is that I can only own as many physical unread books as I can fit on this shelf. I think that keeps me sane. And I just think it's I think it is good for me to have a limit, but that's not a arbitrary limit, because if I can't put the books on this shelf, where would I put them, you know? So it's practical and also just like good for me in general. So right now, these are all my unread books. Some of these are not actually books, they're like zines that are like published in a bind up that I just haven't read. But the amount of space I have, let's move this mug of me, this little corner, and then the amount of space between these books and the top of the next shelf. So perhaps 3 and 3. I don't want to buy 6 books today. That's the other thing, is I do not need any more books. I never need books, ever. I have so many of them and I love them. Of course, I love buying books. obviously. But I more than that, I want to read the books that I own. And if I keep buying more books, I'm not going to read the books that I own. So I think I'm going to limit myself to 1 book per bookstore, and potentially only books that I have already read but don't yet own. Then of course there are only so many books that I have read that I don't own that I want to own. But they do exist. So I think I might let myself get more than 1 book per bookstore if there are multiple books that I have already read. Yeah, I don't really want for much. So one would say, why are you doing this? And it's because it's my duty as a reader and as a person to support independent bookstores, now and always, honestly, frankly. And I do, like, I think most of the books I purchase are from one of the independent bookstores that I'm going to go to today. I'm going to go to our downtown area, and there are 4 independent bookstores down there, but I kind of only want to go to 3 of them. One of them isn't my favorite. I don't actually know if that's true, I just don't go there very often. So like, I feel like I don't know it, but this could be my chance to get to know it, but I'm probably not going to because it's very hot and humid outside, and it's a Saturday. It's going to be so busy down there, and I don't know if I want to like be down there for a long time. Am I centered in frame? I feel like I'm all over the place right now, and I'm only gonna get more all over the place because our first stop is coffee. So see you then. Bye bye. See you later. Yeah, I'll be back. Coffee acquired. Oh, it's good. Oh my god, I was scared. It's a little lighter than usual, but it's good. Iced honey vanilla latte. I am very silly, very unserious, because there is a branch of this coffee shop downtown, and I went to the one that's in the complete opposite direction because I like the baristas here. So it's not that I don't like the baristas at the other one, but like, this is the one I come to all the time, and they know me, and yeah, so silly, but like, there's a reason. Anyways, let's go buy books. I'm back. I bought more things than I should have. Honestly, was I ever going to follow my own rules? No. Why did I think differently? You know, I think it's good to have faith in yourself. I think it's good to believe in your convictions and be able to what the fuck am I talking about? I bought more books than I wanted to. Jesus Christ. If you can hear the clicking of the ceiling fan, it's because the ceiling fan is on because it's hot. As you can tell, I'm a little redder, a little sweatier than I was at the beginning of this video. It was actually nicer outside than I thought it was gonna be. There was a breeze. It was partly cloudy. It was lovely. I did manage to take some videos. I just did it on my phone. I don't know how, I've never done that. I don't know how that's gonna like transfer. I carried my whole big giant tote bag with me that actually has my my purse inside of it. So all the small stuff is in my purse and then all the big stuff goes in the tote bag outside the purse. So if I don't need the big stuff and I only need the small stuff, I can just take the purse fully out and carry. Okay, why did I bring this up? Oh, because I regretted taking this. I took this so that I could put the books in them and so that I could have my water bottle and so that I could bring this camera. Didn't use the camera, used my phone. Didn't drink any water because when I was thirsty, I went to a restaurant and had lunch and drank water there. So I was just like kind of walking around like lopsided from how heavy this was. And it would have just been easier to carry around the bags that they give you at the bookstores, you know? And also like, I knew this would happen with that. I'd be carrying this giant fully stuffed tote bag and I'd be trying to like maneuver the tiny little aisles in the bookstores and people would be trying to get around me and I'd be like, oh, sorry, and like bumping into people. Anyways, why am I like upset? I had a really good time. It was really nice. There was one bookstore that I forgot about, so I did end up going to 4 and it was great. So let's just, you know, let's do the haul. I probably should have set like a monetary limit for what I bought instead of a book limit because I spent $25 on something that was not a book that I did not need to spend $25 on. We'll get there. The first bookstore I went to was a used bookstore, Second Act Books, and I don't really have luck at used bookstores and I knew that, but I wanted to go in and I like looking around. I think used bookstores are really good for finding things that you would never find otherwise. That's not the way I was shopping today. Today I was shopping, I was gonna say with intention, and like kind of, like I was vaguely looking for certain things and also, you know, like I said, like wanting to only buy books that I had read. I actually did end up buying, I think, only books that I actively wanted to read and were on my like Goodreads TBR. So that was good. I think there were definitely some things at both the used bookstores that I went to that sort of caught my eye, intrigued me a little bit. And if it was a different day, if I had a different purpose when I was out shopping today, I maybe would have picked those up. Because I do find like good, interesting things that I would not have found or read otherwise. So I love used bookstores, of course. But today, they were not my bag. And that's okay, because I put a lot of other things in my bag. So I didn't find anything at the first store. And then I went to my favorite bookstore, New Dominion Bookshop. And this is where I spent the most money, which I definitely, you know, I really could have seen that coming. I saw this, immediately snatched it. Immediately. Oh my gosh, I have entered like multiple Goodreads giveaways for this book. Haven't won any of them. And I just I needed it bad. I needed it bad. What am I gonna say? I love books about music. Yeah, that's it. That is what I'm gonna say. You know it. I say it basically in every video. And I have just been like just desperate for this, so I bought it. Yeah. New release adult hardcover? Yeah. $28 US? Yeah. Why? See, I bought a lot of new release adult hardcovers. Yeah. It's not my fault that like new releases right now are like really good. Like Really, really good. Anyways, this is about two people who make music together. I am so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Who do I know that has read this? Carrie from Carrie Can Read. I don't think she loved it. Kayla from Books and Lala really liked it. And she doesn't like books about fame. And I do, oh, the sirens. I do like books about fame, I think. There are many books about fame, not many, but multiple that I haven't liked. But I don't think that the fact that they were about fame was what made me not like them. There were other issues, I'm pretty sure. But she really liked this. So let's read what this is about together. Look, the song whispered to me that day in my living room. Life can be so big. A dazzling debut, says Booklist. It's a Friday night in a campus bar in Berkeley, fall of 2000, and Percy Marks is pontificating about music again. Hall & Oates is on the jukebox, and Percy, who has no talent for music, just lots of opinions about it, can't stop herself from overanalyzing the song, indulging what she knows to be her most annoying habit. But something is different tonight. The guy beside her at the bar, fellow student Joe Morrow, is a songwriter, and he could listen to Percy talk all night. Joe asks Percy for feedback on one of his songs, and the results kick off a partnership that will span years, ignite new passions in them both, and crush their egos again and again. Is their collaboration worth its cost, or is it holding Percy back from finding her own voice? Moving from Brooklyn bars to San Francisco dance floors, Deep Cuts examines the nature of talent, obsession, belonging, and above all, our need to be heard. Next, I actually followed the rule I set out for myself, and I purchased a book that I've already read, Margot's Got Money Troubles. I think I gave this 5 stars. You know what this is about. I love this book. I'm so excited to own it. This, again, new release adult hardcover, $28 US. And the final book I got from New Dominion is a book that I have been wanting to read. This cover is ugly as fuck. And I kind of, after, like, I knew that I wanted to read this, so I saw the spine and I grabbed it, and I didn't really like look at it until the guy was checking me out, and I was like, this is an ugly cover. But all the other books by this author that they had all matched. They're like similar editions, so if I like this, I'll read the other stuff and then they'll all match and whatever. But it is On Photography by Susan Sontag. I have been wanting to read, I don't know when I first started wanting to read this. I was gonna say I've wanted to read this for blah 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 amount of time. I don't know. But I've been wanting to get into Susan Sontag and simultaneously read more nonfiction, and I am a photographer by trade, so I thought this would be a good place to start with her stuff. Why they would make this just completely boring, ugly cover the cover it's lost on me. Yep, no clue. No clue. Shall I read what the back says about this? To photograph is to appropriate the thing photographed, Susan Sontag writes in the opening pages of On Photography, which went on to influence generations of theorists, film critics, and readers everywhere. Originally published in the 1970s, her groundbreaking collection remains uncannily prescient and profoundly incisive. With her singular searching eye and her refusal to buckle under received wisdom, Sontag presents a rousing critique of the functions of imagery: to seduce, to advertise, to evoke, to commemorate, to persuade, to deceive, across 6 essays. The result is a damning portrait of the ways we use imagery to manufacture reality and authority that feels as if it were written today. Lastly, from New Dominion, not a book, but I purchased it nonetheless. They have mugs. They have mugs. Beautiful dark green. I love the way it like goes out and the lip of it. The design. This is like what the interior looks like. Like you walk in and there's this big staircase. What was I gonna do? Not buy it? I was gonna buy it. I own a lot of mugs, but I haven't bought a mug in a really, really long time, probably in years. So I let myself buy this one. Wanted to support. I mean, I support all the time. I go there all the time. Anyways, that is everything I got from New Dominion. Then the bookstore that I forgot existed as the beautiful idea. This is like a gay little store, and it's been open for like months. A year? No, a year? It's been open for a while and I haven't gone in because every time I'm like, oh yeah, dang, I have to be somewhere else. Like I've been passing it when I've been on my way to other things, and like I'll always factor in time to stop at New Dominion, but since I forget it's there, and so I don't factor in time to stop there too. Anyways, I finally did today, and I new lifelong customer. I found so many books that it was 3. I found but still, like, others that I wanted to read and that I knew about, and I'm very, very excited. I think they're all nonfiction. Who am I? First of all. Second of all, I think this is gonna be a nonfiction summer for me. In the way that I have a lot of nonfiction on my TBR now, and I want to read it all. I'm going in the order of like when I picked things up in the shop. So first is Hijab Butch Blues by Lamia H. I have had this on my TBR, like want to read shelf on Goodreads for like a year, more than a year, I have no idea, for a little bit, and I was kind of waiting to read it. I wanted to read Stone Butch Blues first and then have this as like supplementary sort of after it, or like read them in tandem. I don't know. I wanted to like be able to read them together because this is obviously referencing Stone Butch Blues. But it, like, you can't find Stone Butch Blues anywhere. So I haven't read it yet, and I want to. I do. I'm still going to. But I saw this, recognized it, just immediately, bloop, snipped it up. So shall we read the back of this? A daring, provocative, and radically hopeful coming-of-age memoir by a queer hijabi Muslim immigrant who, by interpreting stories from the Quran, finds the strength, purpose, and self-acceptance to finally build the life she wants. Next, I picked up Enemy Feminisms by Sophie Lewis. I cannot believe I pronounced that right on the first try. TERFs, Policewomen, and Girl Bosses Against Liberation. This is a nonfiction, obviously, that Sunny from A Sunny Book Nook has been talking about for a little bit, and it's been on my radar ever since. I don't think I realized it was out yet, but it is, and I'm gonna read it. I actually kind of have a lot of books now on my TBR about women, but specifically the way women like work against each other. Hold on, let me grab something. I have Right Wing Women by Andrea Dworkin that I've been sort of waiting to read. Sorry, my dog's right here. What was I saying? I have this and I want to read it, and now I also have this, not about the same thing, but sort of similar topics, I think. Just the way like women work against each other's liberation in some ways. And then the next book I'm going to talk about is also kind of about that. The back of Enemy Feminisms is Enemy Feminisms is an unflinching tour of 200 years of enemy feminisms, from 19th century imperialist feminists and cops to 20th century KKK feminists and pornophobes to today's anti-abortion and TERF feminists. That was a long sentence. With verve and eloquence, writer and critic Sophie Lewis argues that we must reckon with what Western feminism has wrought if we have any hope of winning the bold, liberatory feminist politics we need. I feel like I just couldn't pronounce any of those words correctly. Oh my gosh, this page that I just just flipped to, page 156, mentions Andrea Dworkin. Fun. Well, not fun, it's probably gonna be just like really like, but I think I'm gonna learn things. And lastly, I bought Girl on Girl, How Pop Culture Turned a Generation of Women Against Themselves by Sophie Gilbert. I just saw this, Rain Fisher Kwan had been posting about, like, she got an arc and was posting about it on her Instagram story a few months ago, and then earlier today she posted the back of this and how her blurb is on the back. And I didn't realize it was out yet, but it is, and I saw it. It was right next to Enemy Feminisms, and I bought it. Shall I read Rain Fisher Kwan's blurb? Girl on Girl's greatest gift is its insistence on treating some of culture's longest-standing punchlines, porn girls, reality stars, gossip mongers, self-mythologizers, with the seriousness they deserve, interrogating them both as the products of their circumstances and as a material basis for the new world in which we live. The result is dizzying, engrossing, sometimes nauseating, an ambitious modern history of public-facing womanhood that manages to make the senselessness and horror of our current moment feel eminently comprehensible. And the inside, oh my god, this was $30. Okay, the synopsis is, What happened to feminism in the 21st century? This question feels increasingly urgent in a moment of cultural and legislative backlash when widespread uncertainty about the movement's power, focus, and currency threatens decades of progress. Sophie Gilbert identifies an inflection point in the late 1990s and early 2000s when the energy of third wave and riot girl feminism collapsed into a regressive period of hyper-objectification, sexualization, and infantilization. Mining the darker side of nostalgia, Gilbert trains her keen analytic eye on the most revealing cultural objects of the era across music, film, television, fashion, tabloid journalism, and more. What she recounts is harrowing, from the leering gaze of the paparazzi to the gleeful cruelty of early reality TV and a burgeoning internet culture vicious towards women in the spotlight and damaging for those who weren't. These are some long sentences. Gilbert tracks many of the period's dominant themes back to the rise of internet porn, which gained widespread influence as it began to pervade our collective consciousness. The result is a devastating portrait of a time when a distinctly American blend of excess, materialism, and power worship collided with the culture's reactionary, puritanical, and chauvinistic currents. Amid a collective reconsideration of the way women are treated in public, Girl on Girl is a blistering indictment of the matrix of misogyny that undergirded the cultural production of the early 21st century and continues to shape our world today. So that's that. Lastly, I went to, I think it's called Blue Whale Books. Do I have a bookmark? Yes, I do. Blue Whale. And again, I did not find anything there. Now, the true moment of truth, my goodness, is if the books I bought fit on my TBR shelf. And if they don't, I mean, I'm not gonna do anything about it. It would just be really annoying. This stack is books that I like kind of have planned for videos. So those are kind of staying there. Everything else is kind of by height. So let's get these hardcovers. Okay, promising. And actually, this should be on the shelf too. This is just in my room, so maybe actually there's a video concept reading the books about women I just bought. Right-wing women, enemy feminisms, and Girl on Girl. But those aren't fitting in this stack either. Okay, I'm just gonna put her up there. She's fine, she can stay there, it's all okay. No big deal. There's not room for my bookmark mug anymore, but I guess I'll live. And that is it. I hope you had a fruitful independent bookstore day. I hope you found all the things that you were looking for. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.